welcome back. Honestly, I'm dreading the future after seeing the last episode and what we are subjected to. There's so much wrong with this world. Well, that is Higurashi. Things aren't exactly sunshine and rainbows. We're seeing the dark side of humanity, of various disorders, and maybe something supernatural. I'm not too sure yet. But hey, the last episode usually wasn't too happy with me. I mentioned a certain phrase too often, and they really took action. So maybe I need to be a little more careful, but also if you want to see full unaltered versions, remember check down in the description. But for now, I need to see what's going on, see exactly where things go plummeting off a cliff. So, let's watch some more Higurashi. And a extreme bout of nausea experienced thanks to a simple head pat, caressing of the hair. There's only so much she was able to endure and keep locked away. And also, it was hard to sit through in the first place, but the fact that this show does not shy away from anything, especially some of the more intense moments and expressions and the like. You know, for a relative safe place such as the classroom, for her to break down here. I really don't think that anyone can just be standing around hoping that someone else will come along and fix it or get involved. There is so much that needs to happen. But considering this is the world of Higurashi, I don't think anything's going to go down the normal way that it probably should in the real world. It's more disastrous for everyone involved, really. But considering with the first couple of stories we had the paranoia build up, we had the family of evil and the likes. This one seems mostly, almost if not entirely, unconnected to the curse of the village or anything else. It's this kind of true, horribly drastic event that is hard to look away from. I don't know how it's all trying to connect it. Also, how is the Doctor Who going to feel after that happened? Was only a matter of time until something happened. I guess here is one of the best places for it because, you know, there's people around that actually care and she's relatively safe in the nurse's office. Oh, okay. Well, when backed into a corner with no apparent route to take. He takes rather drastic action. Why is he taking notes? There's no mystery that is unsolvable. Make it so non-distinct, not even be left down in tail. So just don't have an intro. Are you speaking a bit more than just his question about mystery novels there? No probe, no solution. I see where they were going. Just keep everything covered completely. No loose ends. Yeah, but usually the disappearance of someone, whether or not they're liked, doesn't go unnoticed. So what sudden inspiration did he get here? Apparently needed something from the lockers. Is there... Well, there's the bat again. I was going to say, are we going to find anything else of Satoshi's that might fill in a bit of the story here? The bat, the winding country path. Is he scouting out a potential location, maybe? Now, how is he going to get the uncle out over there is the next thing. Okay. I'm not sure what a tiny little, pothole. Maybe it's the start of a much bigger hole. About 6 feet long. Just a small amount of time, that's all he needs. But if we're using the... Well, you saw how she reacted when he tried to get close before, but anyway. If we're getting close to the festival, the curse and the like, if there are two people that are meant to fall under his influence, is there a price to pay for this action? Hmm. Well, he's now what? Just finishing the plan? But why the aunt? Also, is this just a false connection that he's making in his mind? He, much like the first time round we saw this, he is following in Satoshi's footsteps painfully closely. And then he went missing. And for that conversation, that internal planning, foldable shovel, nice. This course of action is taken to have that interspliced with the nice scenes of the festival being set up and everyone happy and just enjoying themselves. Much better than the stick he was trying to use. 61. So he's pointless problems, not interested. I see. So scoring incredibly good in kind of abstract questions. I mean, that doesn't change at all. A cube versus a die, but I guess adding a little bit extra detail and he's all there. $100. See, the accelerated class really worked out for him. Technically, that's almost exactly what happened to me. I was flailing around in a less than adequate class. Within the month or two, moved up into the advanced learning group. And what the hell? Okay, even if there is a student taking the limelight and just moved in, scoring better marks than you, what the hell? Away from all of the crassness of the inner city schools and the like. Maybe be more interested in these classes, which are very much less tailored since they got to appease all levels of learning. But what lengths is he going to go to try and protect those that are actually nice to him? We are seeing that unfold here. You don't just want to dig a crater, though. What are you doing? Not that I want to give him advice. He's just expending more energy than needs be. Cicadas. I think the mix of everything that we have here, where you have the potential of what could have been a normal, happy school life and story in the countryside being irrevocably changed thanks to things that do occur in real life, unfortunately. Uh, so, wasn't the thing about the police are never informed, so therefore there's no case? Why is he calling him? Is it to make sure he's away? Did she do something? I mean, if she's put in protective custody, really, what a great detective and officer there. But we've seen that he's also part of the problem. So he doesn't particularly give a shit. Well, that seems a little suspicious if nothing else, but also, if he was doing something there to get him out of the way, make sure no one's around. Hmm. Now, is he going to miss his chance considering they're on a scooter? But perfect weather for this kind of thing. The heavens themselves are opening up. Yeah, maybe if he had tightened the helmet, it would have helped. The initial confusion, sure, but if you've just been knocked off your scooter, I don't think I'd sit around waiting for anything to happen. Good, he's not just sat there. Also, what would happen if he had tried fighting back? Had he planned for that? Sure, he's got a bat with him, so he might be able to do anything, but it seems the uncle's main quarry has a little less fighting spirit. Outsmarted. Ah, I've seen this bit before. Just different angle, different place, different people. He's getting a lot of swing practice in. Just double tap, make sure. He's come this far, why take half measures now? So he's still got to get the body to the hole. And I guess also there's the problem with any sort of tyre marks and scratches along the road, the scooter itself just being laid in the middle of the path. Well, let's hope it's not drained any time soon. Also, I really hope that he hasn't misunderstood the situation entirely itself. Good thing it didn't float. Um, and the uncle wasn't the one being abusive in any sorts. He's lost the hole? So he's got to go back for the shovel. There always seems to be someone on his tail or knowing what he's doing. But how do you lose a hole? How does it get filled in? What was the horn for? Who else is out there that needed to be warned of an approaching vehicle? How well is he covering his tracks? really putting his mind to it, he can do anything. I don't think it's over quite that easily, though. We haven't had a good end to one of the Higurashi stories. This is, no matter what happens now, it's not going to be a good end anyway, but still, I'm wondering how does it turn? It really depends who is in the vehicle, to be fair. Building sandcastles, what does it look like? Walking along the road. Don't bring in other people that aren't part of the story, because now you've got to confirm with them. And yet didn't return for. Oh, god damn it. Because he's trying to create a story on the fly, it doesn't exactly. Nothing matches up. I wonder how well he'll be able to keep to that tale of events. Nice, possibly. Very much curious as to. And she doesn't have a roof rack either. The poor bike being left out in the forest for someone else to see if he does indeed. Oh. There's. Was that a wheelchair or another bike just in half foldable one? Ah. Yeah. I mean, fairly okay. Had to maybe to dig a second hole though. That was annoying. I mean, if she's already asked the question like that, don't be coy. You start getting defensive. What corpse? What are you talking about? Just more suspicious. The question now is what's in her boot? Or trunk, or whatever the Americans call it. And if the story is diverging from ones we've seen before, why did she catch fire in the previous story? And if it does follow the same route of one missing, one die, who's falling into that category this episode, or this timeline? But the more of it that we see, there's various characters which are meant to be somewhat helpful, and then we're being turned against them. The detective, for one, the nurse just being like, got a corpse to bury? Would like some help with that. Hmm. Yeah, is he going to be able to live with himself now afterwards? And sure, he may have had the short-term victory of actually protecting Satoko, but if you think about it, she's now down one more family member. Parents, brother, aunt, uncle. really not going well in her family life, is it? Even if he is the monster that is being shown to be portrayed here. I don't think there's any real coming back for her, at least not for a long time. If what we were told by the doctor do that she's seeing that as some sort of trial to put herself through, to get through it, and some sort of penance, how, how, how is she going to take it if they just suddenly up and leave one day? Considering her brother did vanish without a trace, she might have a severe abandonment complex. Of course, with everything else that is going on in the story, I think that might be one of the littler things to worry about. Is there any character here where we can put at least some level of trust in? We've seen that he himself isn't exactly reliable in the way that he approaches things or thinks about things. And now in this story, being told that he has incredibly high IQ but can't push himself to his full potential. He overlooks the normal questions when there's not enough data, when there's not, it doesn't interest him. So what else has not interested him, so he's not thought about it? Has there been other goings on that are just not in the story itself that are happening? It's just he's not clocking it. That'd be an interesting way. But if you are coming home from a night of Moida, even if it is raining horridly, I don't think just walking along the side of the road carrying a shovel on your shoulder is really the best way of going about it. Even if he did happenstance come across the only person that would cheer him on and help him out in a case like this. Surely, even if you suspected there was a car coming, you'd dive into the bushes or behind a rock or something to not show that you were anywhere near that location. I mean, we've seen his on-the-fly storytelling. I was with someone else who can't corroborate my location right now. I'm curious about several elements of this story because things do seem so clear-cut, and yet we're only getting one part of it, and it's moved so quickly. It went from seeing something like that to acting on it within the space of an episode or two. Are we and him skipping over some important details that might have been necessary to know an hour ago? But also, considering how gung-ho the detective was at chasing after any perpetrator or suspect in the previous iterations of this story, the fact he's so blasé, like, well, means going outside, I've got to put on shoes, just had a shower. I mean, my coffee's going to go cold. I can't go and stop a crime. I've made a new cup of tea. We've seen before that characters can change the way that they're being portrayed just due to perspective, but I don't think this is one of them. There's not two ways you can really look at this. I really think there's going to be some big revelation at least, which is going to slot things into place a little better for me, but right now, it seems so detached from previous runs of the story. It's almost like it's a completely different place and people. But if we're going down these routes and this kind of danger and these storylines, I dread to think what would be coming later on in the series. I will say, though, don't take anything that he has perpetrated here as a good indication of the perfect crime, because we are far, far from it. There's a lot going on. Probably too much to handle in one day, so I'm glad I'm maybe taking it at this this pace. So stick around for the next episode. But if you enjoyed this one, let me know. If you leave a like and a comment down below, it helps out me, it helps out the channel. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. And if you just want a little bit of information, or if anything does happen to the channel, head on over to my Discord as well. You won't be out in the cold then. But for now, stay warm inside. Be wary around shovels or holes. Definitely put your helmet on properly. And I'll see you in the next one. All of my patrons are the accomplices to the crime that is my channel, and if you would like to help join in and cover up any wrongdoing, consider joining onto my Patreon as well, because thanks to the likes of Noku, Sal, Croyville, Ruben Villamauer, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Lightwizard91, Shiwan, Tori Jane, and everyone else, I may not need to walk through the night alone, because maybe one of you would be there with the metaphorical ride home that I need.